Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to the start of this because
Okay.
last episode we had to read select scripts, and because a wedding celebrant, hers was fabulous,
Excellent.
and mine not so much.
I love public speaking.
Yeah, I do too.
Weirdly enough.
I saw what you wrote. I agree. I'm much more comfortable speaking to a lot of people. When I have like an elopement and there's like 2 or 4 people, that's so much more awkward than if there's 100 people or 200 people or whatever.
So I can't wait to hear how you go with this.
Well, the thing is, Dan, I'm doing the bio, and the thing that Dan doesn't really realise, even though I've told you I'm a little bit of a hippie, I already know those words because I've used them before. So anyway, I may not be perfect in this, but anyway. So what I'll do is I'll just read an intro.
Sure.
To you.
Okay.
You're wondering what fancy words. It's nothing too fancy. It's just the
well, I know what they are.
No, you know what they are. No, it's just okay. So it is Rini though, isn't it? Because I've been reading it and I haven't said it out loud. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, so Rini is I've already stepped it up. Perfumer, is that how you say that? Yeah. So Rini is a perfumer from the northwest of Tasmania. From a young age, she showed a fascination with perfume, how they smelled and the shape of their bottles. As young as 8, she was already experimenting with making her own fragrances. This fascination has remained with her today through her company, Wilderness Lab, in which she brings to the fore her skills in science, organisation and strategic thinking. Wilderness Lab is an award-winning seller of botanical solid perfumes with lotion bars. The products are sustainable, vegan-friendly and kind to sensitive skin. Her products do not contain harsh chemicals, alcohol, synthetic fragrances, parabens, phthalates, SLS, petrochemicals or animal products. What they do contain is scents to delight the olfactory system, enchant the piriform cortex parts of your brain and calm the nervous system. Her products are sold all over the world. Rini offers us such a powerful message for us late diagnosed people, and that is that we can create a situation that plays to our unique strengths and eliminates conditions that cause us problems and then we can thrive and succeed. So, welcome to the podcast, Rini.
Thank you very much. That was excellent.
Well, how did I recognize a few of the words?
Yeah.
Were there any of the words that I actually mispronounced?
I don't think so. I mean, phthalates is a tricky one. But,
phthalates, but I think I said phthalates because I read up on Gorgeously Green. Do you know that book? It's a book. I got this book and there's like a range of 3. And so I used to make all my own products.
Oh, great.
Dan doesn't know about. But so it was all, it talked a lot about phthalates and SLS and all those sorts of things. So I used to make shampoos and body washes and scrubs.
Beautiful.
Just house products. Anyway, so that's we're not talking about me, we're talking about you.
That was great. I really liked in that introduction how you talked about because for me perfume it's got many aspects to it, and obviously it's one of my special interests, but for me there's a lot of emotion and comfort in fragrance. And so because I'm quite sensitive, I have a sensitive nose and I can smell people, which doesn't mean I go around sniffing people, but
I can smell people too.
Right. So people, I can kind of smell their personality, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so there are particular people in my life that I just, I don't know, it's a bit hard to explain. You'd probably understand, Bianca, if you have the same issue. So for me, when I'm out in public, for example, I'm on a flight somewhere or I'm in a public space and there's a lot of people I can smell, I do get overwhelmed by that. So for me, fragrance, if I have a fragrance on my wrist, it's a way of me to comfort myself. I guess it's kind of like olfactory stimming, if you want to call it something.
Really good. Yeah,
so I will just, kind of go like this and it will, help me to calm down and, so that's kind of how it works for me. And I know initially it was when I was younger, it was more about, Avon and the synthetic fragrances that you could get. And I used to love my mum's perfumes. I'd go and smell them and put them on. So there was a lot of synthetic fragrance, and particularly when I first started making my own fragrances, all I could get was synthetic fragrance. But then it's kind of evolved into essential oils and more of the pure plant notes that I really love. So that's kind of how Wilderness Lab came about, you know.
Okay, yeah, I think I just so when you see people coming up, do you find like if I see someone coming towards me, I'll either think I'm not going to breathe when they go past them, or I'll be like, I just want to have a quick little smell, and I go if I think that they're going to smell like I want to, what I want to receive.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that this was a thing.
There you go.
It's a thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't, I mean, because I only diagnosed, you know, recently and I'm 50, you know, so I've spent 50 years with this kind of thing. And you do kind of feel like you're a bit strange and you don't sort of talk about it much. And I don't know any other autistic people besides my sister, really.
Okay.
So I have been, since my assessment and diagnosis, I have been kind of immersing myself in online, you know, podcasts and people's blogs and just groups of people, adults that have autism. And it's been fascinating just to hear people's experiences about, you know, smell, for example.
I know all the stuff you talk about. We started to think about that as well. I was literally talking to someone at work yesterday about coffee. About since I stopped drinking milk, and I just have like the long blacks, I can have a coffee placed in front of me and know immediately whether I'm going to like the coffee or not, because my tongue will get a bitter taste.
Yes,
and I haven't even got anywhere near it yet. You know,
it's very strong. It's a very strong, and also with memory. I don't know if you've ever experienced smelling something and then remembering when you smelled it or associating it with a memory. And it can be a good memory or a traumatic memory, but you still can recall that a lot easier when you smell something associated with it. So yeah, it's fascinating to me.
Oh, it is.
Yes, I mean I find that even like with erasers, like when you smell an eraser.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that really there's a lot of smells from childhood in those erasers.
Oh, when I was a kid, I had all the. You remember? I'm probably old, but you remember they used to have those scratch and sniff stickers.
Yes,
where you would rub your fingernail on it and you could smell fruit or chocolate or whatever. And I used to collect those. I had a huge collection of these scratch and sniff stickers, and scented erasers.
I still have. I've got like about 50 or 60 scented erasers in a box.
And scented textures. They used to have scented textures.
They're great.
And anything that had a scent I wanted, you know, I collected. And even now, I've got a really huge collection of perfume. Not just obviously the ones I make, but just perfume, vintage perfumes, solid perfumes. And I've just got a lot. I mean, my psychologist asked me, how many do you have? And I kind of felt like, oh God, should I tell her the real answer? But it's a lot. So, yeah.
That's very interesting. Because my daughter was for probably about 6 years obsessed with slimes and putties and things that she would make her own. Like she has probably made thousands of them, but the different essential oils or just the different things that she puts in, just little drops. But even also the textures, the different textures that she can put into them as well. And she was selling them. And but complete. So you actually remind me a lot of her because she's always been from like even one. She would just get creams and just put them all over herself and smell them. And
I used to love remember the Avon catalogues? They don't have Avon in Australia anymore, but they had a perfume usually at the front where you could smell the perfume, and I would just collect them, like hoard these Avon catalogues just so I could sniff them when I needed to.
Yes.
So
Oh wow! So we've kind of gone off on a
sorry,
side thing. No, that's not. It's been so good. Now
I want to wind us back in time, though. I want to go back, and look at sort of begin with the childhood. And I think, like many of us, you share a sort of similar story about your childhood and school.
Yeah.
Not keeping up or understanding the social intricacies, like attempting to fit in, being sort of easy manipulated. That is a sort of experience you had at school?
Yeah. So I'm the youngest of three girls, and we're all very close in age. So I was lucky. I kind of went through school with them in the next year up and the next year up. and also cousins. Got a big family. But I found school was interesting, and since I've kind of, shall I call it, come out, since I've come out professionally, publicly, I've had a lot of old school friends write to me, and they've been really interesting and really beautiful messages from them, just saying how they it made them sort of think about their own school experience, and how they thought about me. And a lot of them had no idea, because I was so good at school. I was so academically good at school. I just kind of, I guess, flew under the radar a bit with needing any assistance, or people realizing that things were going on. So I had, friends kind of contact me and say, "Oh, you always seem so so capable and so normal, and all this kind of thing." But that's not really the point, as you know. I mean,
Yes.
you can appear completely normal and capable. But it was an interesting experience, because I was good at the academic side of school, but I just did not understand what was going on
Right.
amongst my peers. I got on well with teachers. I could speak with teachers, but people my own age, I just, it was not
Yeah.
good.
I find that interesting because, like, obviously you didn't know then, but
No.
like from what I've read, you do sort of tick a lot of all the boxes of an autistic child. But it makes me think, like, the children today, like, who are aware of their autism, and even other people around them. Oh, they're doing this because of their autism or their stimming or whatever it might be. I think that's really fascinating, and I'm interested to see how that goes. As they get older, like how that differs. I just think it's an interesting thing to note, because it gives them so much more understanding. Like, our children who have autism know so much more about themselves than many adults who are.
And that's a wonderful thing. I think that's just a wonderful thing. And I have kind of mused with my sister, actually, about, what would have happened if back in the 80s and the 70s, they had considered that autism may be a female thing. It wasn't just a boy thing. And I just wonder how things would have been different. We both think about that, because knowing now at age 50, there is a sense of self-acceptance, and I know why I am the way I am, and I'm quite, it's kind of a revelation. I'm kind of a lot more confident, a lot happier with the things that I do, the way I behave. But I think as a teenager, of course, you're going through your teenage stuff too, and also to have the added pressure of, why aren't I like anyone else? Why am I like I am?
But you still do say that it was a mostly positive experience, which is something probably a lot of us differ from. Our experiences were not necessarily so positive.
Yeah.
Do you attribute it now to having a sister who's also autistic?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there was a lot of, my social group back then was really my sisters and their friends and my cousins. I didn't really have friends of my own. I did, but no one that I really sort of connected with. And I do think having that support, even though I was not aware that I needed support, but having that there was definitely helpful. I think things could have been worse.
Okay,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's true. So, in your blog that you wrote about your autism, that you're often called weird. I think, Dan, you're also called weird. Like, I think was more called quirky. But so how would you define weird?
Well, I guess how do you find normal? I guess it's I just displayed behaviours as a child that my parents just didn't know what to do with. My sisters weren't doing what I do, even though one of my sisters is autistic. We are very different. We're both autistic, but we're very different. Some of the things I would do, I think people just, as I said, they just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
When I look back, I wouldn't have known what to do with it. I mean, it was, some of the things were strange, but.
Well, one of the things they did do is put you in a gifted program, which is incredibly timely as regards to our private page on on Facebook. We've just been having a conversation with someone about giftedness and the sort of the positives and negatives that do come with that. I tend to have a bit of a problem sometimes with that, based on things that I've read about gifted programs, and how in some ways it can be a really negative experience for these kids, because when they're introduced to things that they are not necessarily so good at, they give up a lot quicker than they would had they not been defined as gifted. Do you, when you look back at some of the things you did within those programs, was there any sense of socialization lessons or anything like that included?
No, not at all. And I mean, you've got to remember this was early 80s. This was not when no one was enlightened. So yeah, they just kind of, from what I remember, they just kind of stuck us in a classroom, and we did, advanced math problems, and we played Dungeons and Dragons. I do remember that. And we just kind of, I don't remember having any friends in the gifted program. It was just kind of somewhere you went. And I also remember, and I wish I could remember it better, but there would be a person that would do like, I guess, assessments on us, tests on us, show us pictures of things and ask us to draw things and that kind of thing. But I don't remember the context.
Did that happen twice or just once that you got the test?
Well, I think twice, because I think it happened when I was very young, like in junior primary. And then I remember it happening in this gifted program in primary school.
Okay.
So, yeah, there was always, and I don't know whether this person was a psychologist or just a specialist teacher, but, yeah, they would get us in a room or one-on-one and ask us things and show us things. And that's kind of all I remember about it. But, yeah, there was a segregation aspect to it as well.
Which is not great. I mean, it's wonderful for neurotypicals, but I think for autistic people, it's the worst situation to have been placed in, because you're not the whole part of they talk about these programs can help you become a successful adult, but not necessarily a successful autistic adult, because they've taken away all the social side.
Yes.
Or they're not included that as part of the program.
Right, and you're not having those common experiences with your peers. Yeah.
And so you get into a workplace, and sure, you're super smart and you understand all these things, but if you can't interact, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I found it interesting that you majored in psychology at university. I read that. So it just makes me wonder whether you were searching for answers without really realizing, or maybe you wanted to understand people or behavior better.
Yeah, possibly both. Yeah, it is interesting. I am interested in, and still am interested in psychology and science in particular. But yeah, I think when I was doing that, I was kind of exploring it, looking at all the different aspects and trying to relate it. But as I said, I didn't really relate autism to myself until much later, because I'm not really sure why. Maybe it was presented in those years as something I couldn't relate to.
Of course.
That's probably why. But it wasn't really considered until I saw myself in other autistic people. Because of the variety of autistic people that was presented.
It's
I
funny,
thought there was one way to be.
Exactly. And like a lot of other women, you were sort of later diagnosed as general anxiety disorder, which often happens to people, to particularly women who, instead of getting their ASD diagnosis, it's just general anxiety. To your credit, though, you sort of kept pushing for answers, and you went to a psychologist as well to help you get a diagnosis. How does it feel about getting the label itself?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think it's good, and I think I'm not on. Well, I could say I'm on a mission. I'm not really on a mission, but I want to sort of be open about it and sort of advocate for it, that it's okay to be autistic, and mostly the response is positive. I mean, I have had some people that have said to me, "Oh, you're not autistic. You can't be autistic. You look completely normal," or "Are you sure you're autistic?" and all that sort of thing. And even from family members. I've had family members say, "Oh, you're not autistic. You're just making it up for attention," But other than that, that's a small minority, and I think mainly it's been really positive, and people have kind of it caused them to be a bit introspective as well, which is a great thing. Because I think if that had happened when I was, say, even in my 40s, 30s, then maybe I would have been at this place sooner. But it's okay, I'm 50. Maybe I've got another 30 or 40 years to to do that. I don't know, but it's a good thing. It's just a positive thing for me.
That's what I love. There was something in your blog post that you had that I just love, and I think we should all memorize this when we're confronted by people saying, "Oh, you don't look autistic," or whatever it is. And so what you said was, after years of struggle and an extensive assessment process, you could be sure, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, it's and it's not just me that's sure, There's someone with a PhD in adult autistic women who is definitely sure. So that's great. And I guess, there is that validation. I mean, I didn't just catch autism. I've always been autistic, and so I think people are kind of like, "Oh, you're just jumping on an autism bandwagon or something." But no, I've been dealing with this my whole life. So
Also, I feel like I'm relating to you in a few different ways. But when you said that you were watching You Can't Ask That, the ABC show, it was a turning point for you in realizing that you actually had autism. So firstly, that is like one of my favorite shows because it asks all the questions that I want to know the answers to. Like, I don't like when journalists, they just tease and they don't ask direct questions. So I just love it because that's my normal.
Yes.
And they are all the questions I would ask. And I do ask those questions in a very not innocent way, but I'm not being mean. I'm not trying to be awful to people, but I want to know those answers and to learn and understand them better. So do you feel that way about the program as well?
Yeah, it's great because I love to sort of listen to the experiences of minority groups and people that you maybe don't normally come into contact with, or if you do, you're kind of scared that your natural instinct to just ask that question is going to be socially unacceptable. Because after years and years and years of people saying to me, I have no tact and you can't say that, and I'm sure people have said, you can't ask that to me, then there's a show that is basically me.
Yes, but those people, they want to know the answers. They just won't ask questions.
Right. Yeah. And so how helpful. I think it's just a great, safe way of, finding out this information without offending someone or doing the wrong thing. And so and I love that show. I mean, not just that episode about autistic people, but
exactly.
There's a lot, transgender people and, all sorts of things, which I've found helpful.
Oh, it's so much better. It's not so boring. All the interviews you have to listen to on television, people promoting whatever. I don't care. And they're always answering the same questions that keep getting asked. I want to know stuff much more interesting. When did you have your first wet dream? Tell me about that. Something different, please. Anything different to what we usually get.
And I gravitate towards people. I mean, I'm not, I find people difficult, but I do kind of gravitate more towards people who are honest and don't have that filter of, not saying what they mean. Just say what you mean, and that's really, I find that really attractive.
Well, part of getting that diagnosis, I was 47, is often that feeling of if only, so I I do mourn the person that I could have been had I had that earlier diagnosis. And so are you going through that process as well?
Yeah, I mean, you do look back and there are some incidences in my life that I feel could have gone better, had I known. And certainly some aspects of my life where bad things happen, traumatic things happen that maybe they wouldn't have happened if I had been aware that I was putting myself in a position of danger based on my autism. So, there are things like that. But generally, it's been okay. I think there's good and bad. Like, I think maybe if I had known, I would have been compartmentalized, sort of labeled as this particular person. and then I probably would have worn that label on myself. I would have maybe not tried anything or expanded myself because I thought I was just in this box. So there is that, and I'll never know, of course, whether that would have happened, but it is something to think about.
Yeah. Okay. So, and what about? I was wondering about how you're going with your unmasking, because as if you said, you've had like 50 years of masking, and are you struggling with knowing who you are? Like Dan and I are both. We don't even know who we are.
Yeah. Look, and that is 5 decades of trying to be normal, but I don't know. I'm still figuring out what masking means because I've had conversations with my husband. I've been married for 30 years. And so my husband is kind of like my, because he's the opposite. He's just a social genius, like he can talk to anyone. He can be around anyone. He feeds off of the energy of being around people. He is just the opposite of me. So I kind of used him as almost like my masking role model. I'll kind of mimic, the script is kind of based on what would he say and everything. So yeah, I feel like masking. I am thinking about what that means because someone said to me, and I don't remember who, oh, that means you're being fake. You've been fake for 50 years. And it's not that. It's I'm being me, but I'm being a more socially acceptable version of me. And it's kind of like running software in the background of a computer, So you're kind of talking to somebody and there's this program running which goes, am I looking them in the eye? Is my face normal? Don't say this. And am I appearing normal? And it's exhausting, it's absolutely exhausting, which is why I think initially a lot of my issues were diagnosed as anxiety because you just get so exhausted and you just can't deal for the next however long.
And you don't know why.
You don't know why. And you just think, well, there's a problem and they just go to anxiety. And it does have that anxiety component. But so I do think about that a lot. And I have thought about that a lot since my diagnosis, whether it's something that I want to stop. Can I even stop it? Like there's a lot of, and there are people that I like. One of my only friend ever. I've got one friend in my life that we've been friends since since we were about 20. And I don't mask with her.
Right.
And it was a really interesting revelation that she's the one person I don't mask with.
Wow. I'm going through that myself, trying to figure out whether I've talked to my best friend as well about this. I'm still not totally sure because I don't know what I am unmasked. That's kind of the problem. But I also see masking as being a really good skill set to have.
Yeah.
And I try to attribute it that way. But also I'm trying to, the way I conceptualize it is by saying home base. I'm trying to get to my home base, which is where I can relax. It's where everything, the uniform, everything gets removed and I can just be me. So I just need to know, I'm trying to find that home base. I've lost my compass.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
well, also, you can have like a friend. Like I've got a few friends who I mask with. They're good friends, but I still mask with them. I don't think that our friendship would be the same if I didn't mask. Like it wouldn't be. I'm just playing up to that. But it's not an all the time friendship. It's like I'm ready for that now. I'm charged for that.
Yeah. Well, my friend thinks, and she told me this because she was in Adelaide. I went to Adelaide last week and I actually saw her face to face. And she thinks that for the first, say, 5 minutes when we first meet, we haven't seen each other for a while, that I mask. And then she says that after that, the mask is gone. And that was interesting to me because there must be some automatic masking that goes on because it's been so long that I've done it, that I can't kind of just go in to a conversation and say to myself beforehand, okay, I'm not going to mask. I don't think it's something I can control, if that makes sense.
I think it's situational as well. So, and especially when you're masking most of the time, when you get into a position where you're with your best friend, It will. It will take a while for your brain to recognise that you're in a new situation. It's a safe place, and that's when it'll start to unfold. But I don't think it's like switch. It's a progressive thing. It's slowly you start to calm down and relax, and it's very much the case. But what I love about a lot of the things that you talk about and you blog about is quite positive, which is it's not always something that we we can do easily, you know. And I love another quote you had, which was, recognizing my ASD has allowed me to be the architect of my life. And I think in some ways we're the embodiment of grand designs. Like we're renovating some old factory or castle, which is our old masked, crumbling, whatever it is. So with you, how's your renovation going? Are you over budget?
So I think when I say that, I guess I've always been. I've had one job in my life, and that was when I was first married. I was 21, and I thought, well, I should go out and get a job. So I went and I got a job, and it ended very badly. And I think looking back now, it was 100% because I'm autistic and I didn't know. But then I thought to myself, well, that's no good. I really need to control my environment. I need to control who I see. I need to control how I work. And so from that point onwards, I've had my own businesses. And they've been various things over the years in various industries with the help of my husband, who was a photographer. So some of it, was kind of along those lines. But in my last business, which was a successful business that I sold, it was more people-faced. So there was more person-to-person aspects of that business. And I thought to myself, when COVID hit, actually, I thought to myself, well, just like everyone else, they're working from home, but I can really just kind of tie everything into the way that I am and make it comfortable for myself. Make it okay to I can adjust my lighting. I can wear whatever clothes I want. I don't have to talk to people. A lot of those things. And that's kind of what I mean by designing, being an architect of the way that you're working, the way that you're living. And because I'm on a property, I'm in the middle of nowhere, I never see a person. I can go weeks without seeing a person.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I thought, well, just embrace that, just kind of make that work. And that's what I've done for the last, 3 years.
Okay.
It's just make that work.
And then obviously you've chosen that as your business. So can you tell us a bit more about your fascination with perfume and how you think your autism relates to it?
Yeah. So I think, the way I've kind of, I call it the evolution of fragrance because I think fragrance means different things to different people. And for me, it's about obviously the natural aspect of fragrance. I can tolerate synthetic fragrance, but in much lower quantities. Whereas with natural fragrance, it is naturally a lower kind of sillage. That means the amount of fragrance that flies around in the air around you. And I like that because I find it really kind of overwhelming if someone walks in. You can smell their perfume first, and you've probably experienced that. Yeah. Or if you walk through a department store and all you smell is and I don't like that. So when I sort of started, making and designing these scents, I based them on places around me, places in Tasmania. I really love to be outside in the bush, and there are certain smells that come with that. And so I've kind of recreated, for example, there's a scent called Cradle Mountain that I named Cradle Mountain because I recreated Cradle Mountain, and it's a very kind of like the snow on the ground and the wood smell and the kind of damp smell that you can get when have you been to Cradle Mountain? Have you either of you been? Or
my husband has. We are actually planning on going. So.
Okay, yeah. So it's a particular, for me, it's a particular scent. So I kind of recreated that in this Cradle Mountain
Yeah.
perfume, and it's been really gratifying. People love that one, and I kind of thought initially, because the fragrances are a bit unusual, they're not something you would just get in a shop and you'd associate with just perfume. They're kind of a bit different, I suppose. And although there are some that are flowery and pretty, but there are also a lot that are very, natural, kind of have different aspects to them that maybe people wouldn't associate with perfume.
So then what's the actual, I'm just wondering now, because perfume, is it for me or is it for other people? Because you say those people that walk into the room and they have that strong scent, they actually want other people to smell them.
It's both,
then
I think.
The way your one seems like it's for yourself or
it is.
For your intimate partner.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it's about me wanting to smell good, and also the fragrance does kind of exist around your skin, around your body. So people that are close to you will smell it. If you're a mother and you've got children, your children will smell it. But I guess I don't sort of like the idea of fragrance being obnoxious and just forcing you to smell it. And that's really, it's resonated with a lot of my customers. A lot of my customers have written, and you can see on the reviews that, people really like that aspect of it,
How do you apply it? I can't get my head around it. It's not like a...
No, it's in a tin, comes in a tin.
Yeah.
An aluminium tin, and it's like a wax, a plant-based wax, and I infuse the fragrance into that, and you just basically rub it on like a balm. So you can put it anywhere, like on your skin, on your hair.
Really?
Some people put it on their face.
Wow.
You can put it anywhere on your body where you want the fragrance to be. And it's very versatile.
Oh my God!
And so the other thing as well, I was having issues with normal synthetic fragrances. I was getting rashes sometimes. Like I'd spray a perfume on and break out in a rash, which was disappointing because you don't want that to happen. And I remember my husband brought me a very famous, very, very famous perfume once when he went on an overseas trip. Brought me back this wonderful perfume, and I was so thrilled. I sprayed it on. Within half an hour, I had a big red rash on my neck. So and a lot of people have that a lot worse than me with allergies. So this is a great way for people with allergies to enjoy a fragrance too. So
well, Bianca's going to hate this question because I was a hippie in the past days, and it wasn't until kids came along that I sort of got a bit more sciencey. But before that, I was into all manner of interesting things.
Crystals.
And that exactly, all that stuff. And so a bugbear for me nowadays relates a little bit to when my mum threw in cancer and the sort of nonsense that she had peddled to her, is I'm not a big fan of alternative health and those sorts of things. But what I'm finding really interesting at the moment is that...
I am.
Oh, shush. So the stuff that you mentioned on the site doesn't appeal to me in a lot of ways. Some of that stuff, like organic, does not appeal to me. I think it's a word that's just, it's like a marketing term. But organic, sustainable, all that used to be shrugged off as a bit of hippie nonsense, or only appealing to hippies like Bianca. But I think things are...
You're saying I'm a pretend hippie.
A pretend hippie, exactly. Okay. But the culture's changed. And I think it's become a legitimate concern for a lot of people. Is that what you're finding? It's not just a specific kind of sandal-wearing hippie?
Yeah. It's very mainstream. I mean, my customers are from all walks of life, and men too, by the way. It's very popular with customers who identify as male, and so there are people, men are using it as like an aftershave balm because it's very soothing, and there are most of the scents in fact are sort of cross gender, so it's and the whole there's a term you might have heard called greenwashing, and greenwashing is a thing that brands do. Where they want to appear that they're being sustainable and healthy, and so they'll use terms that are not that are misleading. They're not necessarily I can't think of any off the top of my head, but they're not really indicating the true nature of their product. So you might get products that say they're natural, but then they'll have an asterisk, and they've got 5% natural something in it, but they're saying natural. Whereas I think a lot of consumers are kind of getting wise to that. They're not suckers. They don't kind of fall for the whole, oh, you've got a green plant on your product, therefore it must be safe and natural. So yeah, I'm kind of, I guess when I sort of started it, I thought, well, I'm not going to be like that. Everything I say is going to be true and backed up by evidence. And so, yeah, I do say those words because I don't use any plastic in my packaging or in my retail displays. And that's a conscious choice because I think there's too much plastic around. And also the ingredients are natural. There's nothing synthetic in there. There's no petrochemicals. So, and I state all of that. No phthalates. Exactly. Exactly. So I state all of that on there, and it's true. That is the case.
Your rooster is spruiking as well, by the way. It's quite interesting. Came along just as we were talking about the green stuff, and all of a sudden, just outside the window.
Yeah. Oh, is he? Oh,
yeah.
That's Scotty. He's actually a pet rooster. He's tiny. He's this big, and he's about 8 years old now. So yeah, he's getting on. But yeah,
he likes what you're saying.
He's fantastic. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too loud. It's white.
We love it. We love it. Anytime we can hear dogs or any animals, it's fantastic.
I don't even hear it anymore. But yeah, so and it kind of ties in with the whole brand Tasmania thing because it is a very clean environment. The air here is amazing. And also the oils that are produced in Tasmania are just the best quality in the world, as far as lavender and peppermint and olive oil and all those good things. Hemp oil as well. So.
Hemp oil, yeah. It's amazing.
So there's some incredible, I have access to some incredible ingredients.
I know. I can't wait to try some of these things. Looking them up. Yesterday I was trying to look to see if there was any nearby me that I could go.
Whereabouts? What state are you in?
I'm in Melbourne, so I was in the city yesterday and trying to find.
There's a few in Victoria. I'm not sure.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting ringing tones, and I can't. Yes. Where's it coming from? It's coming from my bag. I've got too many phones. Now, I wanted to ask you about something regarding what I'm interested in at the moment, which is sort of I've stolen apparently from my wife.
You have?
Yeah, I have apparently, and that's a love of terrariums. And so, I love making these amazing little bits of nature, these microclimate sort of things.
Sculptures, yeah.
Exactly. But for me, it's the focus, and the bit I love the most is actually going out and trying to find small plants, interesting rocks, interesting wood, interesting mosses. And so for me, it's more about the finding, because the actual putting together doesn't take long at all,
Oh, you would love to come to my property. There's a river that runs through the property, and you can go down to the river, and it's all river stones, and there is nothing I like better than to walk along the bank and pick up stones and collect these stones because there's some beautiful, really fascinating colours and shapes, and you would love it, Dan.
Well, it sounds like I would like perfumery, but I don't know how would we start just to experiment a little
with perfumery.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would start with essential oils, really, and that's very accessible to everyone, and of varying qualities. I mean, you'd probably want to start with something not that expensive, and then just try mixing them, and see what you like. I mean, everyone has a different nose, and that's kind of part of the problem, I guess, of creating perfumes, is that it's a very personal thing, and some people will love a particular fragrance and some people will just turn them right off. So you just kind of have to work out what works for you, and see.
But do you have because I really like jasmine, and then let's just say, I don't know, I really like lavender, but they don't necessarily go well mixing them together though, would they?
Well, I probably wouldn't if I was, and actually I do have a jasmine perfume called Princess Jasmine.
I saw that.
Yeah, you'd like that one. But it's I tend to kind of, when I create something, I probably don't do it by the book, but I do kind of try and balance a fragrance. So if I've got jasmine, which is quite a strong floral, I do kind of balance that with, say, in the case of Princess Jasmine, with a citrus, and it just kind of lightens it and brings out that floral note without being cloying. So there is an art to it, and you just kind of, sometimes I think, I'll write down a formulation and I'll think that's really going to work well because of the notes, but then I'll try it out and it doesn't work well. So there is some alchemy, there is some part that needs experimentation and tweaking. So yeah,
there's a tree we've got out the back. For some reason, even though it's my favourite, I've forgotten the name of right now. But anyway, I walk past it and the perfume is just the most extraordinary smell. I adore it, but it's only a certain time of the year. Can I capture the smell?
Yeah. So what I did year before, I can't remember. There's a Tasmanian leatherwood tree that grows on our property, and every year, actually, it's coming up end of November. It'll flower, and the smell is like nothing you've ever smelled in your life. It's amazing. Anyway, what I did one year was I harvested the petals and I infused them in oil, and the whole process took about 3 months, and eventually I ended up with a infused oil of this leatherwood, and it was very, very close to what it smells like when it's fresh in the air. And I made a Tasmanian leatherwood perfume, and it was a limited edition because I only had so much of this, and it's a seasonal thing, and it sold out, quite quickly. But
what oil would I put it in? What do you?
Well, there is a process. So you'd have to get the petals. You would have to make sure they were completely dry, like completely dry. What you should do actually is harvest them in the morning when they've got a really strong smell, and then harvest them. Make sure they're completely dry. So you dry them out, but don't dry them out too much so that they lose the oil. Right. And then you just basically put them all into a glass jar or container. Cover them with oil, and then you let them sit, or you make sure that you seal the jar, don't let any air or anything, and then you would let that sit, preferably somewhere warm in a sunny windowsill, for 3 months.
Wow.
or as long as you think it's going to take. So in my case,
what sort of oil is it that you're using?
I just used jojoba oil for this because it's the most odorless.
Okay,
oil. Yeah. You don't want anything that's got like olive oil, for example. Don't use that. You want something that's very odorless.
Look, I'll YouTube it. Don't worry.
Yeah, you can
that's what
Google
I do.
it. Someone's going to have a
you might have some competition here.
Exactly, that's right.
Go into production.
Watch out.
But it's a lot of work, and I mean, my price point is quite low, so it's a lot of work for a low price point.
Yeah.
But you have to think about that.
Now, before we get on to the most important segment, I wanted to check. There was something that was quite interesting when we got in contact, and you had responded that you have been voraciously consuming the episodes, skipping around and going backwards, then forwards again.
Doesn't everyone do that?
I can't get around my head. I can't. What are you doing?
I remember when you said that, I thought, oh, God, I have to explain how I read books now. Yeah. But, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. So what I do, and I do this with books as well, is I will go through it, kind of like skim through it, and then I'll go back and I'll do it again. And then I don't sit down and read a book from cover to cover. I kind of read it all over the place. And the same with podcasts. Yeah, I know. Look, the same with podcasts. So I'll kind of like read bits and then go back listen to bits, go back, listen to other bits. And then eventually I'll get to the beginning and I'll listen. And I don't know why I do this. I do this all the time. So when I said that to you, I thought, oh, God, he probably thinks that I'm...
You listen to podcasts like you do your perfumery. That's what you're doing. You're going around picking little audio grabs
That's a good.
And because you may be synesthetic, your olfactory nerves are coming into this, so you're hearing certain sentences that you're associating to a smell, and then you're putting it all together at the end. You're bottling it at the end by listening to the whole thing.
I like that take.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you so well.
You do.
What do you think, Bianca?
Which gets us into the next part of the podcast. So I'm not sure whether you, in your jumping around, whether you heard the who knows Rini better or who knows so-and-so better. Have you heard that bit yet?
I think I did. I don't remember which episode that was.
Who knows Rini better?
Yeah, there's been a few whenever we interview somebody. So it's just about, we just have a few questions. So I'll pose a question and then Dan and I have to guess what is who knows you better by. I'll say, like, for example, the first one is your favourite smell. I'm going to guess what your favourite smell is. Dan's going to guess your favourite smell, and then you will tell us who knows you better out of that. And there's maybe like 6 those sort of questions.
Okay.
Dan, did you want to start us off with Reni's favourite smell?
Well, this is going to be hard, I think, because she might have obviously a Tasmanian specific.
Yes.
So I would like to generalise it a little bit.
We can narrow it down.
Narrow it down to like a sandalwoody smell.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to go with.
Like a note, yeah.
Okay. Oh, right. You're going down to a note, right? Okay. So I was going a different way, and I'm thinking favourite smell is just general. In general, it's like childhood smells.
Ah.
Like smells that remind her of childhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
That's legitimate.
Well, yeah. I would say, and it's boring, but I really like rose.
Oh.
Wow. Older versions or the newer?
No. It's got to be pure, preferably Damascus rose.
Right.
It's got to be pure, like the good stuff.
The good stuff.
It can't be synthetic rose. It can't be synthetic rose. I can't stand synthetic rose. It's got to be actual, like, because rose.
Do you wander the streets of Hobart or something just looking for some pure rose?
if I can smell a rose, that's even better. But rose oil is one of the most expensive things ever. Per meal, it's like ridiculous. So yeah, that's. I've got.
Have any dealers got you hooked on their particular fragrance? I'm trying to make you out like you're an addict.
Oh, look, anything. I mean, I do tend to like the more expensive extracts and, like sandalwood. I do like sandalwood. Has to be pure Australian sandalwood. I do like that. And I also like amber. Amber is one of my favourites. And that's a resin.
Yes.
I absolutely love that. So, yeah, I do kind of tend to prefer single notes.
Okay. Well, I don't think either of us won that one.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
No. I don't know whether we're going to go very well at this one, but okay. You go, Dan.
Okay, next one is your favourite movie. And so I'm going to hazard that I don't think you do watch a lot of movies and TV, but I'm just going to go for it and say that you actually like the film Perfume, which is from the 90s. It's quite a saucy film if you haven't seen it, but it's a really good film. So I'm just going to say purely because it's got the title, you probably would have gone, and if you'd seen it, you would have watched it and liked it.
Okay. No, actually, you've got her all wrong. She loves all the traditional sort of. She loves like Breakfast at Tiffany's is a classic, and Rini loves it.
I've never heard of Perfume. I'm much more of a documentary person than a movie person.
We should have got that.
But that's okay. My favourite movie is AI. Remember that old one with had Jude Law as a robot and the little kid and the whole. It's this. I know it's probably not very popular, but
Oh no, it's
I
fantastic.
just love that. I
It's
love that.
heartbreaking. It just I
Oh,
got the
it makes me
extended
cry. The part where the kid gets out the car and she gets him out the car and tells him, I just cry every time.
that bear.
On the bear? The bear.
I'm absolutely obsessed with.
Yeah.
Back when I was a hippie, I thought the bear represented God,
Oh, yeah.
but it represents something which I'd love to watch it again and with
Yeah.
my more adult brain
Yeah.
trying to
And
make
at the
sense of
end
that
where
bear.
he gets one day with his mother at the end.
Oh
And
my god!
oh, I just can't. Just can't.
Yeah.
But I do love sci-fi. I'm a big sci-fi fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay,
We both got
that's me
0
then.
for that one as
Yeah.
well. We both.
I won that one.
No, you didn't.
Well, because
Okay.
I like sci-fi too.
Oh,
Well, I like sci-fi. Anyway, next one is your favourite food smell.
Oh, I'm going to go for a very strong curry that's been made from scratch.
What's in the curry?
Well, a good curry leaf, like a good combination of those sort of really potent smells.
That's a good. I think that Rini likes just fresh Thai cooking with lots of fresh herbs, and especially, I know this is risky, loves coriander and basil in a good salad with some tofu.
You know, I hope she's going to say
Oh.
like a chocolate teddy bear biscuit or something like that. Something like so
No,
completely fake.
no. Both of
jelly
those
bean.
both of those are close because I do like the aromatic type.
Right.
Yeah. So they're both very close. Gosh, if I had to choose one that was closest, maybe Bianca. Yeah, because I do like a nice fresh herby kind of salad. But I also love the smell of garlic. I know a lot of people do, but I love that smell.
Absolutely. Well, I think if we were interviewing you in winter, you would have chosen my one instead. That's what I'm saying.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. That's kind of the winter version, and there's the summer version. That's true. Yeah, that's
Sure.
true.
Okay, next one is favourite colour.
I hope we don't have to get too specific about types because there's so many within. But because I'm first, I think I get to win here because it's definitely going to be a form of green.
Okay.
I would say like a gum green.
I'm just going to say just all natural sort of earthy colours.
No, you can't say that.
Okay, I'm going to say amber.
Yeah, Dan wins.
Green would have been my first choice. Well, you should show Rini your front door. It's green. You just got it painted green yesterday.
Certain types of green. I don't like lime green or and I don't like that dark heritage green. It has to be kind of a nice kind of like a soft green, like my logo really. So
yes,
okay,
has those colours in the leaf.
My son's got a new toy with it, which is I need to find out what exactly that colour is because I have been obsessed over that toy and the colour ever since.
Have you noticed there's some really cool car colours now?
Yes, there are.
New cars have those muted kind of.
Yes, I love the muted
Aren't they
colours.
Cool? They're really cool.
Right.
Yep.
Anyway, getting off track.
Now, I'll let you answer this one first.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The question is a favourite holiday destination. This is a difficult one because I know that you like to be at home and with with a lot of people not around. So I'm thinking you don't want to go into the big cities. You like just a nice big hike, or you like that trail in Tasmania, which is like 7 days or 10 days.
What's that track?
That's one. You like that one.
But
there's too many people. So then you don't like that one. So you just like to just go off yourself. You like New Zealand. New Zealand is great because you get to go up in the mountains. Okay, that's my answer. How about you, Dan?
I'll just give the right answer, which is Cradle Mountain.
Oh, gee, they're both good, but I have to say it's rural Italy.
I love that.
Because we lived there. We lived in...
Where did you live? Whereabouts?
In a little place called Bagnone, which is in Lunajana, which is a village, like a region. And we lived in the hills there. And when the kids were little, they went to school there. And it was very, very rural. There wasn't many people, but it was just the best. It was natural. There were like forests and there was fireflies and it was just really
So io capisco un po' italiano?
Very badly. I used to when we lived there. It was great, but and we went back a couple of years ago. But it's all. I've got no one
So
to speak
it's
to.
my favourite place in the whole world.
There
Is
you go.
just Italy in general. Well, not the towns, not the big cities, but the small little places. And the food, of course. I'm gluten intolerant as well, but over in Italy you can have gluten.
Yeah.
So you can't have gluten. You can have the pasta and things, and it doesn't affect you. So that's exciting.
Yeah, the food's amazing, and the people. I mean, got so many friends and family over there, so it's lovely to go back and visit.
Okay, so we both got that wrong. So the next one is favourite music genre. So you go first, Dan, because I don't even like music.
Oh, for God's sakes. I don't know how that makes sense. Let's see. I think you would have obviously loved. I would say in a general sense you probably like the world music, but I think because of where you spent some time there, I think you probably like the more traditional sort of European folk as being something you enjoy to listen to as a sort of meditation.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to go country music.
Oh gosh, no, not country music. I'm not really a huge music fan either, but I do like 80s music.
Oh yeah,
love 80s music. Yeah. I know it's sad, but
no, Dan loves 80s. Dan
I love
loves
80s music
I do.
too.
Yeah.
I like 80s, but not as much as Dan.
I had to re-record "Papa Don't Preach" for a guy at work, and with new lyrics. So I've had a lot of fun recording that sort of 80s sound as well. But I grew up in the 80s. I didn't like the 80s music at the time, but I like it a bit more now.
Yeah, no, I love 80s music. My sister just went to the Culture Club concert last week.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Wow. And she said it was amazing. So.
Okay, and this question is the last question, and it is the one that it's worth 10 points. It's for your favourite guilty TV show pleasure.
Can you start this one because I'm struggling?
I'm stumped. Okay, I'm going to say it is the one where it's off grid. It's the one. You go off. It's the people that create their houses off grid, and they're amazing, and they're just what I'm talking about. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Let's call it off grid.
Living off the grid or something.
Something like that.
Well, I'm going to say, is it Gourmet Farmer, the Tassie guy? That Pig Farm or whatever it is.
No, is that called Cottage something?
No, there's a guy who's in New South Wales, but there's also another one who was a sort of food journalist, and I'm going to move on to a different one because you clearly don't know who it is. And say, I was just thinking out loud that I reckon a favourite guilty teacher. I would say you're probably going back to something from the 80s. I wonder if MASH might be one that you really enjoy if it's on.
Oh, gosh. I was going to say House Hunters International.
Oh,
I love that show. It's not, I think maybe some of it is not real. Like, in other words, there's probably actors. But it's just really interesting. I love looking at houses around the world and all those kind of, the international cultural differences. It's really fascinating.
Okay. Well, I think we've both really kind of lost.
We have been abysmal.
But you did pretty
I think it's like 1-0. I think you won.
Well, you did okay with the aromatic smell thing. That was good.
But I think I put you into a box that was a very hippie, organic, all those things, but not thinking about any other part of the world. I was just thinking about where you are.
And I do love Cromer Mountain, go there often, and I'm always outside walking around the property, and so I do love all of those things.
Well, we can't always be right, Dan. Not always.
No, I guess not.
No one's perfect.
Not. Fine. Well, thank you so much for spending time talking to us about your special interest.
That was fun.
Being late diagnosed is an interesting experience for us, and the more that we talk to people who have been through this, the more we can share and notice just how similar a lot of our experiences have been.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
Is there anything else you'd like to say, Bianca? You look like you're very happy with how I went about describing all this, saying
well, because I've got the show notes and I know what you're going to say next, so I'm just waiting for your punchline.
Yes, I know. Thank you very much for talking to us, and smell you later.
Oh, that's good, Dan. Well done.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, I'm not good. Yeah, that was it. But I mean, Dan's good at doing like intro and outro, so those things, and I just
Awesome.
don't even know what I'm good at. I'm just here to rail him in. I think.
Yeah.
Keep him on track.
Someone needs to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that was really nice. Thank you very
awesome,
much. I'm definitely going to. I didn't realize you could buy your things, your perfumes at retailers. I was just going to buy them
So
online.
there's one in every state now of Australia, and there's also New Zealand and Taiwan.
Right.
It's big in Taiwan, and just about to do South Korea. So
Is this in? Do you know where it is in Melbourne?
yes,
if
you go to the website, there's a stockist map. So if you click up the top of the
website, stock
website,
lists.
If you go to the stockist map, it says.
I tried the current location. I tried it in the city itself, and I couldn't find any there.
Where are you? You're in Victoria.
You've just got to zoom in on the map, don't you?
You can do that. Yeah, you can do that. There's what have we got? 3. I'm just looking at.
There we go. Oh yes.
Okay, here we go. So one in Mornington.
Where's that one?
Oh, hang on. There's one near us.
Oh, there you go. Which one's near you?
It's in North Warrandyte.
Oh my God. Yeah, Automotive Fashion and Gifts.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, that's only like.
I went to that shop recently.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Get in there. They're I think they're relatively new stockers.
Okay, I'll put it in there. All right.
That's good. Well, you can go in and actually they have on the point of sale display. There's a section at the front where you can sample everything, so you can sample the perfume before you buy it, which I think is.
Obviously, it all gets edited later.
Yeah. So if I say something stupid, you're.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we always keep that stuff in.
We all keep. We have that. Yeah.
That's good.